Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, and I hope everybody can hear me and see me. This is a live event, and I am walking at the same time, trying to burn off some chocolate cream pie and some other stuff. But just want to do a live show to talk about the DJI Spark, and if y'all can respond and let me know you can hear me, because I've got an issue with my iPhone 6s Plus. Long story short, this thing it thinks there's something in the microphone jack, so I can't take a phone call. Hello, hashtag notification squad. Welcome aboard, John G. Welcome aboard. So yeah, just gonna make today's focus the DJI Spark, and hopefully I'll have a replacement iPhone within the next few days, because it's put me in a bad spot. I mean, this one still works, but I can't place or receive a phone call and hear people unless I'm on Bluetooth. Yeah, now I love Apple, but I'm irritated by this failure of the iPhone 6s Plus. But that's not what this show's about. This live event, if you're watching this at approximately 7:45 p.m. New York City time. That's that big city up there in the northeast of the United States of America. And yeah, we're going to talk about DJI Spark. So, you've probably seen my videos. If you haven't, check them out on epicdroneshow.com. Fly High Guy says, are you keeping the Spark? Well, no. I mean, it's cool, but I will say that if I had it to do over, what I would have done, I would have just gotten the regular Spark without the controller, because I've found that the best value with the Spark is having, using the active track, because that small drone, easily portable, pop it out of a backpack, follow yourself, while you're mountain biking or whatever. It's the battery life, although decent, is too short for any serious longer range flying. Obviously flying line of sight to be safe and responsible, but the battery life's just not enough to get up there and and fly a longer range. It excels if you're using it in like the active track mode where it follows you. And I didn't even get to playing around with controlling it with the iPhone, but I know a lot of people that did, and they had a good experience. Obviously you don't get that tactile feel of the controller, but you get the convenience of being able to get an aerial video, a quick aerial video, or a quick aerial photo without lugging around all that bulk, all those bigger batteries, those bigger controllers, all that good stuff. I mean, hiccups. I ate this huge, enormous piece of pie, and I got indigestion. But gotta keep on walking and burn these calories and talk about the Spark. So yeah, the Spark, I'm not saying a bad thing about it. I mean, it's good. It's good for what it is. Do I feel that it's priced incorrectly? I think that they were very aggressive with their pricing, and I think that was it's just a little bit too high. New construction circle vid, and it was done in 3 minutes. Very cool. Yeah, so I mean, it's good. It's good for what it is, but would it replace the Phantom in my toolkit? There's no way. I mean, even if it did 4K video, just because of the shorter duration of the battery, the shorter flight time, there's no way it could replace my Phantom. So, as a supplemental tool, something that one uses in conjunction with a Phantom, or maybe a Mavic Pro. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Mavic Pro because the video quality is not as good as a Phantom 3 Pro or a Phantom 4. So, I I'm ready for Mavic Pro 2. I think that could be a winner if they do 4K 60 or better, and it has a 1-inch sensor. That'd be great. Active track didn't work. That's interesting you mentioned that. Something that really irritated me with the Spark was the inability within the app, and yes, I was using the most current version of DJI Go app. What was it, version 4? There was no way to, there's no way to adjust the gimbal wheel speed. So with that being the case, you know, for even to consider it a semi-professional alternative to the Phantom or the Mavic Pro, it's just not there. I mean, just small things like that. Let's see, comments coming in here. The hype over drones seems to have really died. I remember a time when drone vids would get at least 50K views. Now you're lucky to get 5K. Well, you know, it's all about, hold on, bug flew in my eye. Bugs in my eye, hold on. Just a second. Whew, I think I got it. I hope I did. Yeah, so, you know, it's like any other technology. When it first releases, especially something, you know, I look at a drone in the same light as like an iPhone. You know, when it first came out, that was just something revolutionary. But then people start to become immune to it. So unless there's a drastic innovation, yeah, it makes sense that, you know, there's not going to be as much buzz in the social media, etc., surrounding that product. Lim says, Active Track has done a decent job for me, but I'm planning my shots way before I go out. Yeah, that's important. You know, have a flight plan. Know what your objectives are. Well, what do you want to capture? Do you want to capture somebody? Do you want to capture a vehicle? What obstacles are present in that flying location? You know, plan the route accordingly. Plan that flight plan. So, yeah, that's smart, dude. That is smart to proactively plan prior to heading out to the filming location. So, yeah, it's a cool drone. Is it worth the price tag? I mean, it's expensive for what it is. I mean, I'll tell you like it is. But as far as being well built, yes, very well made. Feels very solid like other DJI products, and it's social media and event clips here. Cool. You do social media and events, that's cool. Yeah, so walking out here, getting some exercise. Maybe clips for the vlog, the video vlog. Cool. Can you fill us in on what the meaning of your channel name? That's what Trevor says. Yeah, there's really no meaning to it. It's you know, when I first started with YouTube, I didn't have a strategy. You know, I was invited. Google at that time, YouTube Partner Program was by invitation only, and I posted a cruise ship video, and they said, hey man, do you want to become a partner? And I'm like, you know, I don't trust anyone. I always feel like people are out to screw me over somehow. So, you know, just to be safe, I always feel that way. And I looked at the return email address, and I'm like, okay, this is a legitimate address. This came from Google, and what do I have to lose? Am I having to sign some sort of paperwork? I'm having to do this, that, and the other. You know, what am I setting myself up for? And there was nothing. It was all positive. It was an opportunity to monetize videos. And at the time, I didn't realize the impact, the positive impact that it would have on my life, because I was like, okay, yeah, I posted a video. I'll give it a shot. And, you know, as a YouTube partner, and I'm like, well, since I posted this one video, why don't I post a whole lot more? And it just led to, you know, learning to how to use cameras, obviously purchasing a lot more high-end cameras. I started out with basically junk, and then I evolved. And the name IrixGuy was just a gibberish screen name that I created when I created a YouTube account. And I'd created the YouTube account long before I even had any intent of using it. I mean, I mean, I don't know. It was a gibberish name, and then it just turned into like, what can I turn this into? So I added Adventure Channel, because I'm like, well, you know, what's IrixGuy? It's nothing. It just sounds nerdy. It sounds cool and unique. And then I'm like, well, how about if I add Adventure Channel? Add that other element to the name, and that's how IrixGuy's Adventure Channel was born. I mean, I wish I had a more elaborate story, but you know, that was it. And you know, at the time of hosting this live show, it's growing a little bit. It's getting close to 35 million video views and close to 52,000 subscribers. So it's growing. But yeah, that's the story, man. Great question. I mean, I hope that answers that. Adam says, remember everyone wanted a tiny cell phone back in 06. That's what the Sparks reminds me of. Hey, very true. Great analogy. I remember the cell phone bags. Does anybody remember that? A cell phone in a bag? Remember when that Motorola Razr came out, that flip phone that was really small? That was great. Got some other comments here. Ace Report says some people have been dropping from monetization. That's referring to a YouTube term. If you're not familiar, YouTube partners often monetize their eligible video content. So yeah, a lot of people have there, and I don't want to jump to assumptions here, but there have been people that have jumped ship, because you know, it's like any other business. The rules and regulations are constantly changing, and you know, anytime that someone is participating in a service that is provided by another party, you know, they can pick the rules, and a lot of the monetization rules have changed, and also the unveiling of certain services that have changed the way that that YouTube partners can benefit from monetization. So it's yeah, but hey, I'm gonna march forward. I mean, I don't see roadblocks and quit. I see roadblocks and create a detour. So you know, this channel's only going to get bigger, and you know, you're here, y'all are all here in the infancy of IrixGuy's Adventure Channel still, so appreciate that. I got some more comments coming in. Lim says, I carry 2 Nikon bodies, a Samsung body, 4 to 5 lenses, 2 to 3 fishes. The Spark was good choice. Very cool. Yeah, when you're carrying all that gear, man, you definitely need a small drone. Fly High Guy says, thinking of picking up Spark today, will be disappointed. Oh, well, my thing would be I probably wouldn't get the bundle. I'd probably just get the base and, you know, control it with your smartphone and use the active track in those modes. But yeah, check out my website, epicdroneshow.com. You can find all the Spark bundles there, and a whole lot more. And then, let's see. Oh, flashes. Yeah, when you said, I was thinking you're carrying all these Nikons, and then you got fish because you've been fishing, and then you got a DJI Spark drone. Jack Lucas Moore, I'm not sold on the Spark. I reckon it's an experimental product. You know what? I think your statement is very true, because like the Mavic Pro, DJI was testing the market's reaction to a smaller, a more lightweight, a more portable drone that's foldable. You know, how's the market going to react to that? And they released the Mavic Pro that has 4K video. It was well perceived. It sold out. It was on back order forever. And obviously it crushed the GoPro Karma. GoPro Karma didn't even have a shot after Mavic was announced. Even if GoPro Karma had not been recalled, unfortunately, it would still never have had a shot, because DJI Mavic Pro was so much better. Such a better design, better features. So then DJI comes out with, you know, they're trying to segment their offerings. They've got Mavic Pro, which is, oh, we're going to test the waters with something smaller, more lightweight. It's the middle tier. Well, at the time, it was like, is this going to be the new Phantom? Are they going to discontinue Phantom in favor of something smaller and more lightweight and equally capable? So then they came out, because of the great market reaction to Mavic Pro, they said, we're going to release something dramatically smaller, dramatically lighter weight, but we're not going to give people everything. You notice the Spark came out. The Spark is not a Pro version, and I think that's intentional, because by releasing the Spark with 1080p and by releasing the Spark without a 3-axis gimbal, what they in essence did, they made it to where the Spark should never hamper the sales of the Mavic Pro. And they've made the Phantom so high-end that it shouldn't hamper the sales of the Mavic Pro line. I think the comment y'all just made, wait for the Mavic Pro 2, I think that's very solid advice, because I have a feeling, and this is an assumption, but I have a strong feeling that Mavic Pro 2 is going to take what they experimented with, and it's going to make it a more refined, more capable product. Mavic Pro 2, at a minimum, I expect 4K 60. At a minimum, I expect a 1-inch sensor. You know, we need a serious and more compact aerial video platform. And that's what, that's what the Mavic Pro 2 should bring. I also think we're going to see another Spark. And I think we're going to see a Spark that'll do 4K video and may even have a 3-axis gimbal. You know, if you watch my Spark videos or other people's Spark videos, you probably notice when the thing rotates, it gets the video tears a lot. So it's not, if you're flying straight on, if you're not manipulating the camera up and down with the Spark, it's pretty good. For like an active track, it's pretty good. Check out my video where I'm on epicdroneshow.com, where I'm being chased through a field by the Spark. So let's see here, more comments. Lim says, oh, wait a minute. Jack Lucas Moore, how long do you think the Phantom will last? Can you imagine a Phantom 12? I think it's their bread and butter. I think it's going to be around for a while. I had my doubts when they released Mavic Pro, but now I think I see the direction they're going. And then we've got another comment here. Sorry, his comments disappear. You'll never be able to get the same stability of a 3-axis gimbal with a 2-axis, no matter what the flying or filming. That's very true. And, like many of y'all, I put that to the test in the field, and it, again, flying straight on to something, to film something, or an active track, it looks pretty good. Even though it's 1080p, it looks pretty good, but it's not, it's not a, Gareth says you need to film and pan properly. Anyway, very true. Doesn't matter which tool someone has in their arsenal, if they don't know how to utilize that tool, they're never going to capture something that's great. So, it's, the better equipment helps, but it's not going to make or break the. It's not going to enable magic to happen when the videos are filmed. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on, and I think I don't know, y'all's opinion, or y'all just kind of a show of virtual hands here. Do y'all think that the Spark is a positive addition to the DJI family? Do you think it's something that shouldn't have been added? Do you think, I don't know, what do y'all think? I think they had a camera to begin with, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't release maybe a rebranded version for racing. I don't know if DJI wants to get into drone racing scene, but if you put that Spark in sport mode with a controller, that thing will haul. Check out my DJI Spark sport mode video. That thing, it's scary fast. It really is. It's wicked fast. So, that's that's something that was unexpected. I mean, I put that thing in sport mode. I didn't. It has opened a door to a whole new group, gateway drone. I really don't know. I wouldn't ever get a Spark, but I see this. See its appeal. Yeah, it's definitely a. And you know, if they wanted to attract the first-time drone buyer, I think they would have reduced the price even more. But I think DJI now knows, at this point in time, rather, that at this point in time, DJI knows that they can put out pretty much anything as long as it's a quality product, and people are going to gobble it up whether they really need or want it. You know, it's kind of that Apple fanboy mentality. You hear those frogs? Listen to that. Got frogs out here. Probably a bunch of snakes too. But yeah, it's interesting. Apple of drones. Yep. Many of y'all have said that, Apple of drones, and I firmly believe that, you know, it's right now, and y'all indicated this earlier, you know, the newness of the drones. You can see there seems to be less of a dramatic reaction to drone videos and this, that, and the other, because people are starting to feel like it's just a normal technology. Like, imagine if, let's say back in 1980s, if you had an iPhone, you walked into a room and everybody else is in there, they got their bag with a cell phone in it, you know, they got these huge devices, and then you walk in that same room and you're like the future kid. You're like, hey, I got an iPhone, dude. Look at me, I can touch the screen, I can play a video. Obviously the internet wasn't even back then, wasn't even in use back then for individuals. So, you know, if you walked in and you had an iPhone, you had internet and YouTube, they would think you were the future cat. And, you know, that's kind of the same thing with drones. I mean, when they first came out, and I don't know how any of you, I would assume none of y'all walked out in a field and flew a drone the first time and didn't think, wow, this seems fake. It's so much fun. And it's so, you know, I experienced it after I launched as I wanted to get aerial videos for my YouTube channel. So I attached and you can check out this video on my channel, but I attached what's called a keychain camera to the top of a rocket, one of those ST's model rockets, and I launched it several hundred feet into the sky while I was filming. And then I took it to the next level and waterproofed it and did it over a lake. So that was my first stab at aerial video. And then drones came out and I'm like, wow, I can get gimbal stabilized video in 1080p at that point in time. I'm like, this is superb. And then it evolved to 4K. So, you know, the fact that the novelty factor is wearing off. I mean, people see a drone, it's like, oh, that's a drone. But imagine, you know, a few years ago, if somebody saw that, the reaction they would have. So, yeah, they're really going to need to innovate, not just from a size and weight perspective, but they're going to need to come out with a new hook to really make these drones have that awesome and unrealistic perception again. You know, when people see them, it's like, that can't be real, man. Where's that thing flying over there? Oh, that thing's moving like a bird. It's just sitting there. What's it doing? How's that work? You know, I mean, it's not going to have that reaction forever. So there's got to be something new and innovative too. I've only burned 101 calories. That's unacceptable. So, you know, with that being said, we're 23 minutes into this show. A waterproof drone, definitely. That's innovation. A waterproof drone that can not only land on the water, but one that can land on the water and then from the controller, flip a switch, and it can become a submersible, you know, go underwater. So you got an airplane, you got a submarine, you know, that'd be pretty cool. I find the Spark to be more complicated to operate than my Phantom 3, the toycarcollector.com. Very cool. William says, I actually showed up, let's see. Sorry, my comment disappeared. William says, I actually showed it to a couple of guys I work with that use Phantoms, Mavics, and Inspires, and they were impressed with what it was. Definitely, it's a well-built machine. And Garrett says, machine learning, AI, NVIDIA will do it first. Hey, NVIDIA is innovative. remember building gaming rigs using their video cards. John Thompson says, that would be cool, man. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, it's thinking like that. You know, how are they going to take it to the next level? And Lim says, didn't someone come out with a sub drone? There's been several fly-by-night companies that have released products like that, but I don't think they ever take off, unfortunately. And I wish a company would really step up and attract the attention of a large company with a huge marketing budget and get their product out the door, because, you know, they pitch these ideas, and maybe they even have a prototype, and maybe they even sell it, but their marketing strategy is not effective enough to create enough profit to enable them to continue to exist. So basically, you know, people are stuck with the paperweight at that point. You know, the company goes bankrupt, you can't get new accessories, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting, but I'm going to get off of the live show, and we're going to do a lot more live shows soon. This is just walking and talking about the Spark. So anyway, got to go to your niece's grad party. Have a good night, guys. Hey, that's cool. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. As always, when you're flying a drone, you are your own drone evangelist. So be safe, act in a safe fashion, promote drone safety. You know, be a drone evangelist as well. And let's continue to make this hobby a safe and enjoyable hobby for everyone. You know, let's improve the perception of this hobby at an international level. So thanks for your viewership. Thanks for commenting live. Sorry, we're only 26 minutes in. We'll do a longer live show soon. And be sure to subscribe, youtube.com, hiccups, /IrixGuy. Check out IrixGuy.com. You can find all the drones there. You can find the previously recorded shows, including this one, and a whole lot more. Y'all have a good day.